What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Real Work Podcast. No excuses, no illusions, just real work. I'm your host, Anthony Goods, assistant coach at Arkansas State, and I'm joined by my co host, my man, one of my closest friends, Francis Matrisciano. Francis, what's going on, brother?
How are you, sir? Good to see you today. Excited about this. Excited. How we doing?
I'm definitely excited about this as well, man. Just in regards to podcasts in general, I hate all these long introductions, and I feel like the audience they'll get to know us as the show goes on. So let's just dive right into things, man. It's the NBA off season. And of course, when it's off season, there's a lot of contract negotiations. We saw Luka just signed a 3-year extension with the Lakers. He got paid. Josh Giddey is he's in the process of negotiating a new contract. I think he's looking for what, like 4 years, 88 million. I heard he's looking for 30 mil a year, but we'll see if he ends up getting that. But what's your take on this whole process of negotiating these extensions? What are the importance of getting these extensions and whatnot? And how have you seen this played out over the years?
Well, right now it's the security guys are looking for. They want to get monies, and they should. Guys should get paid for their job. But what I see a lot of times is when guys get paid, sometimes the production slips off, the work ethic slips off, and I've seen that through the years. I mean, this goes back. I mean, way back. There was a guy, Tim Thomas, went to Villanova, was a very talented player. And it always seemed, based on the people that I knew in the NBA, they'd always comment, is the last year of his contract, his game would go leaps and bounds.
Hmm.
And then he signed an extension, new contract, and his productivity went down. So, and I've seen that happen a lot. I don't know why. I guess, even especially nowadays with the money that's out there, I've seen guys where they'll sign it and their level goes down, even in preparation, their training. I mean, I get it because there's certain levels of training, and guys
Right.
are like, I just signed for 230. Listen, the numbers are crazy. The numbers are crazy, and they continue to
Right.
get crazy. It's out of control. But are you really going to bust your ass with all that money and say, I still got paid? Even guys right now I've seen that are going to get paid
Hmm.
don't put the effort in on the training because you're getting paid anyway. It's not going to
Right.
matter. It doesn't matter.
But I feel like as you said, like it's security though. So with security comes comfort.
Yeah,
And
that's
with
what it is.
comfort, we relax. I mean, you know what I mean? If I'm walking around at night, and I'm walking with my bodyguards, I feel a lot more, I have security. I feel a lot more comfortable in it if I was alone, right? It's just a natural thing. So it's like, and I think, and I always think about things, just going back to, let's just say, the conversations I've had with NBA personnel and whatnot. And it's like, there's also apprehension on the team side because they've seen what's happened over the years too. They probably have even more data than these players have. So it's like you kind of have the players and the agents trying to get as much money as possible, but yet the teams are like, they've seen how this thing has played out. So I think there's a huge struggle to find like the return on investment over 3 years because we've seen, I mean, there's a lot of teams right now with players, and they've been trying to dump these salaries for years because they just signed too big of a contract. Let's say 3 or 4 years back, but um, yeah, I
Well,
think teams are getting
that's the funny
security.
thing with even the teams. They go out, they sign these guys, and then like you just said, they dump the salary. I've also noticed it on drafts. Guys get
Okay.
drafted, number one draft picks. They sign these guys, and it's almost like they didn't do their homework because 2 years later, the guy who's the it guy is now gone. They're trading him. Okay, whether it's his work
Yeah,
ethic, and that to me just is
it's a
again.
risk though. It's a risk though.
Yeah, but
I
okay,
mean,
but
you're never gonna get it
where's
all.
your
You're
homework?
never gonna get it
Where's your
right.
research? Yeah, well, okay. I'm not gonna look. I don't call people out. I'm just using examples.
Hmm.
Colin Sexton was drafted eighth in the draft, right?
Okay.
He was supposed to be a point guard out of Alabama.
Right.
Okay, Avery Johnson, who played point guard in the NBA, was his coach at Alabama. Yet when he got into the league as a point guard, they said after 6 months, this guy doesn't know how to play point guard, doesn't know how to run the pick and roll. Okay, then the next they draft Darius Garland to play point guard. You get what I'm saying? So you spend all that money on the first guy. Where's the gap in the knowledge, in my opinion, on a lot of these guys doing their homework? How do you draft a guy eighth, and then you're going to draft another guy to take his place a year or two later, and now you're on the hook with that guy's money, and you're
Yeah,
paying them
I mean,
both.
I think NBA front offices, there's kind it's kind of like a seesaw on a scale. Like you have, a portion of the front office that may like heavily rely on like analytics and the numbers and what did the projections say from a number standpoint, right? And then you got like a portion of people that rely on the eye test and what they've seen in the past. And I can't speak to Colin Sexton's situation, but I mean, a lot of times guys have taken that risk and it's paid off. And then there's been obviously probably more times where it hasn't paid off. But I really don't know what the right formula is. I'm more of like an eye test kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? I never
Do you put a
Colin
lot of
Sexton
stock
for
in analytics?
I think it's there. I think analytics is like a resource to kind of verify what you're seeing, validate or to, challenge what you're seeing, with your eyes. But we all see the game differently. You're gonna see the game differently than I see the game, right? We can sit down, watch the same game, watch the same player. You may be looking at, his movement patterns and whatnot because of your background. I may be looking at the way that, he handles the ball or the way he gets his crossover off, right? So that's where just us two in the front office, we have a difference in opinions. If you're the GM and I'm the assistant GM, it's your final call at the end of the day, no matter what I say. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe you give me that power, like, you know what, I'm gonna give you this pick. So it's like it's always tough when we see these decisions happen like over the course of like NBA drafts or even offering somebody an extension. There was a lot of homework done. There was a vision there. There was justification, and I'm sure there were challenging opinions. But ultimately, there's usually one, maybe two guys, three guys, if you want to include the owner, that are making that call, and everybody else just has to live with it. But yeah, I think if there was a way to get every NBA draft pick right, teams would have figured that out a long time ago. But
Oh, it's
we're
always in the
still
crapshoot.
here. We're still
I'm not
making
talking
bad
about
decisions.
them getting it right. I'm talking about drafting that player for a
Okay,
specific position at that high level, and then all of a sudden he's replaced a year or so later. Listen. We can go back. There's number one picks that get out of the league in 2 years. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about you have a guy, you've paid him now all this money
right.
as a pick like that high, and then all of a sudden you give up on him in a year or so.
Okay, but this is the thing. This is the thing. It's almost like choosing like a mate. Like you get into a
Oh,
relationship.
oh,
Yeah,
oh.
okay.
I'm
Oh,
blessed.
oh,
I'm
yeah.
blessed with that. I'm blessed with that, though, sir. I picked the
As am
right
I,
one. I
sir.
did the right.
As
I
am
did
I,
the right
sir.
draft. I
As
was
am
lucky. I got the right draft pick. I did my analytics. I did my eye test. I'm good. I'm good. 14 years.
as am I. But like I'm saying, it's like sometimes you have to you have to sit here and you have to think like, okay, this player is not working out, or I don't see it working out. And the sooner you realize that and get off of that player, the
Fair
better.
enough.
Or else you end up in a situation, let's say like Killian Hayes. It's like Killian. They should have got off of Killian Hayes a long time before they ended up doing. They ended up letting him play out, and it didn't work out for the franchise. But it's like you're gonna have mistakes. But I think the franchises that end up succeeding, they fix their mistakes before it becomes a long term problem. Because you could draft Colin Sexton and then maybe you realize 18 months into it, okay, this guy might not be the guy we thought he was.
Right.
It's better to get off of him while teams still like him before they understand everything that you know. You know what I'm
Fair enough.
saying? So that's kind of how I see it in the draft in that sense. But I think that this whole, in regards to like contracts and extensions, more so with like veteran players, I think that there's this struggle between like teams and players trying not to overpay certain players, but at the same time you need to get talent in the building. So it's like, how do you get talent in the building
Well, I'm
without
not an
overpaying them?
expert. Listen, I'm not an expert, nor to pretend to be on this subject as far as the salary cap, the numbers. But obviously, when teams are signing veterans, you have to look into their, anyway, for me anyway, for the fitness side of it, how the healthy they are, what their
Mhm.
makeup is mentally as well as physically. Because once you sign a guy, now you're saying, okay, I've spent all this money on this one guy, I have less for somebody else, and
Right.
that's the struggle, which I would see anyway.
Yeah, nah, for sure. I mean, I think it's yeah, finance is always going to come into play, but let's just okay. So you spent a lot of time, working with NFL, NBA players that have been in these contract situations. Now,
Get them
specifically,
ready for them. We train specifically to get them ready. Although when I train everybody, as you well know, I have that's an afterthought for me. See, when people come to me, I get it. They want to become stronger, more explosive, more dynamic, but all that crap. I'm training them for life. I'm training them for their health, and I'm the reverse. So they come to me. I know what they're here for, and they'll get where they want to be. But my thing is longevity because when they get that money, I want them to be healthy to enjoy that money when they retire. So I'm looking down the road. They're coming
right,
in. Hey, I got to sign a contract in a year or two. I get it. We'll do that. But I'm looking so far down that I want them to get all the money, 200, 400 million, and then enjoy that. Because if you're not healthy, that money's not really going to be anything that's, to me, going to help. You got to have your health first, and then you can enjoy that money. So they come in, I train them. We get geared for that. I'm doing guys now, right now, where I'm setting them up for their next contract, and they've just signed the contract
right.
already. We're looking that far down the road for them, but for me, it's about health.
Yeah, but I don't know if this is news to you, but nobody's coming to you for their health, Frank. They're coming.
No, no, no.
They're
I
coming to
said
you because well, no,
I
no, no.
know
I'm gonna
that.
say. I'm saying none of the athletes. None of the athletes. I'm sure you got other clients that are coming for your health, but
Civilians.
none. Yeah, civilians, but none of the athletes are coming to you because they want to be healthy 20 and 30 years down. They're coming to run
No,
faster, jump higher, and all that other
exactly.
stuff.
But
All
I'm
right.
saying is that's where I reverse it for me. They're going to get here. They come to me, Frank. I want A, B, C, D. You're getting it, and you're getting all of it. But
Right.
that's not what I'm looking at. I'm going in reverse. They're getting what they came here for. That's collateral to me, as opposed to my first thing. And
Right.
they understand it because a lot of it's meant. Listen, it's not just the physical training here; it's the mental, and
Right.
mental is really important. So that translates to the game. But yeah, I see these guys come in. They're already focused on what they want to do for their next contract. But I've also seen guys again who sign those contracts and then they're done. They're
No,
done.
for sure. But that's where I've always been. I've always been amazed because it's like when it's your contract year, I get it 100%. Like, you really want to make the best of the year. You really want to, make an impression. And then it's right before you're going to sign on a dotted line and then you get the bag and whatnot. But I've also
Let me
been
ask you this.
impressed
Let me ask
with
you
the
this. Hold
veterans
on.
that just
Let
show
me
up
ask you
just
this.
because. Yep.
I want to get you because you played. I didn't play.
Right.
Okay. When you don't you want to have like or don't shouldn't you have pride in what you do every game you're out there, every year you're out there? And I
Yeah.
don't get when guys sign a contract, okay, I'm good. I can relax a little bit. I got my security that I wanted. How about pride in what you do?
No, I get you. I get
That
you.
you
But
should
I
work
think,
that you should be working harder. Here, I've always told guys, you better be better at 24 than 21. You better be
right.
better at 27 than 24. You're always learning. Just because you
Right.
get that money, now all of a sudden you shut the engine down a little bit, you idle it and coast a little bit until 1 year left before your contract comes up again. What about the pride? What about the stuff you put out there? People come and pay a lot of money to see these guys play, whatever sport it is.
Right.
Take pride in what you do every single time.
Yeah. But I
Sometimes I
think
think you should not get paid. Sometimes I think, you know what? Sign guys to contracts, right, that are guaranteed, but every year the numbers can change. You suck, it goes
yeah.
down. You go up, it goes back.
Yeah, nah. I mean, you definitely probably get some better performance, but I think like the pride in the game, it it changes for everybody. I think everybody plays the game for different reasons and at different points in their career. It's like when you first get into the league or, you first get somewhere, you're really trying to prove yourself, right? You're like, nah, I'm not just a rookie or I'm one of the best rookies or I can hang with the vets, whatever it is. And then after you become a veteran, maybe your eyesight is on winning a championship and you chasing that. And then maybe after you hit 30, 30 something, maybe you've had a championship or maybe you just don't see it in your future. You're like, all right, man, I'm just trying to stay healthy. Maybe if you had a couple injuries along the way, I'm just trying to stay healthy. Like, or, everybody has different reasons. And I think that kind of impacts, performance, the effort they'll put in the off season, regardless of how much you get paid. You get paid based off of your past performances, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I think I think the media has always been extremely cruel to Ben Simmons, because we saw all this potential. But I mean, he had the back injury, and quite frankly, from what I've heard, super indirectly, he didn't want to be one of the greatest players ever. He didn't want to be everything that everybody else wanted him to be. So it's like, if that's true,
But he
it's
took the
like we
money. He took the
of
money.
course, because he was worth that money. But like, this is the thing: is like we've all had jobs that's worked in an environment
Wait a
with other
minute. He was
people
worth the
where
money
not
in whose
everybody
eyes?
wanted to be the CEO,
He
or not
was worth the
everybody wanted
money
to
in
be the
who? He was
CEO.
worth the money in whose eyes? His eyes?
The team that paid him.
Well, no, they paid him based on what they felt he was going to give them in return. And
Right,
once that
exactly.
didn't happen, okay, so he wasn't worth it. He was the idea of him coming in from LSU. And listen, hey, okay, let me say this. I don't blame anybody for taking the money that you're offered. Okay.
Okay.
There's a lot of professions, not just sports, where people get paid and they suck. Right?
Hmm.
It turns out they're like, holy shit. And now they were paid. You're not gonna blame that person for taking it. You're gonna look at the people that are
Right.
giving it to them.
Hundred
Understand that,
percent.
okay?
hundred
Right?
percent.
So here you have a guy who's the number one pick in the draft. They're paying him because the expectations of that team, because he hasn't done anything, right? Okay, we'll go talk about this some other time about the expectations of from kids in high school all the way up. But you have a guy coming in, they're not giving him all that money for him to be mediocre. They're not giving him all that money for him to say, nah, I don't know if I want to be great. They are expecting him to be great, and that's why they're paying that money.
Correct.
So it was on him, and that's what I'm saying. Where's the pride? Where is it? Where's you know what? A lot of people are counting on me. Injury aside, injuries
Hmm.
are an occupational hazard that you can't
Right.
help. But even when you're injured, guys in rehab, I say, guys, the rehab has to be 100%, 100% effort to get you back where you need to be. You can't
Right.
half-ass it. Okay, so I don't know Ben Simmons. All I know is he was the first pick at LSU, and things didn't pan out the way the teams thought it was. Because how many teams has he been on?
Yeah, he's looking for a new one.
Is he? I thought he was retired.
Retired? Nah,
Oh, he's not
he ain't
retired.
retired.
I thought he
Nah,
was
I
done.
mean
I thought he was
they
done.
there's like rumors floating around that I guess he's thinking about retirement or whatever it may be, but he's
Oh,
definitely
all the best
not
to him. All the
retired.
best to him. Hope he gets another
Yeah.
contract. All the best to him. But my point again is where is that drive? Where is that? And that's where you have to. You can't say, okay, I'm taking whatever he got paid, and I'm going to chill now. And whatever happens, happen. I don't care about the fan. Coming in, the fans paid all this money to see me play. I'm a half-ass it.
Yeah, I mean, but I think everybody also has a limit. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm not talking about Ben Simmons here, but like he's got back pain and and I've had back injuries. I've seen people with back injuries. That's no
Lemon
joke.
water.
Lemon water, nice. Is the water alkaline, sir?
No,
No. Okay, so
I
you
get
just
fresh
drink
lemons from
micro.
a tree. I squeeze it. I throw in some spring
Okay.
water. I'm good to go.
Okay, fair enough. But
That's my lemon treatment.
I mean, I'm sure you've seen it too. I'm sure you've seen guys, talk real motivated over the phone.
That's
Take the flight out to San Francisco, and then 48 hours later,
48. How about 3 minutes?
3 minutes later, they're
You're
back to
kind.
wherever that
You're
phone call
kind.
came from.
You're
Yeah, so
kind.
it's like it's a frustrate. That's why I say everybody has a limit. Like sometimes, like Frank, like even when I was working out with you at a certain point, in my career overseas, I just decided I didn't want to work that hard. I was like, you know what, my career is gonna be mediocre, and that's probably where it's gonna max out at this point in my
No,
career. I
you're
don't want
better
to
than
work that
mediocre.
hard.
Don't
No,
tell
no,
me that.
no. I'm just saying at that point in my career,
Okay,
by mediocre, I'm saying I'm not chasing the NBA anymore. I'm not
right.
chasing
Okay,
the highest level anymore.
but
So
now
it's like,
this is just about with the players when they sign. Look it.
right,
I've had guys come in and then they get the money and then hey man, what's up? Ah, you know, I'm gonna chill out. I don't blame them. Listen, that's why I do a lot of virtual now. Guys, the guy you still want to be here, but guys come in,
mm,
they'll do the training here, and then whatever we do here, it weans off to virtual during the season, right? And it's a lot easier for them. But for the guys that once they sign, yeah, I'm gonna take a year. And people ask me, they go, "How come, whoever's not back?" I go, "Would you be back to go through this after you just signed that?"
right.
Give me in a boat somewhere. You'll be relaxing because they're saying, "Wait a minute, I gotta go do that again after I just signed it?" Hell no. It's okay. It's all good.
Hey, but did you ever have like a player call you like before he came and it's like, yo, like I'm about to be the best. I want to be the best player in the league. I'm about to come
E-
kill it, and I
Everybody.
need,
Yeah.
huh?
Listen. Everyone that comes in here, I'm the hardest worker there is. That's my mo. Whatever I need to do, I'll do whatever it takes to be the best at what I do. Blah 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 blah. And then they get here, and they're like, "Huh?" And I go, "Yeah, this is what needs to be done."
I'll be back. I gotta go
You've
check on my
seen it.
wife.
You've seen it. You've seen it. I'm going to LA. Why? I'll be back on Monday. I'm going to get a car. I'll be back. I'm leaving Friday, coming back on Monday. I'll never see him again. Sure. That's the fun stuff. That's the fun stuff.
Oh man,
But,
it's
but again,
crazy,
now,
man.
now you put $200 million in your bank, which is God bless. And you're like relaxing at your house and you're saying, you know what? Let me go walk the treadmill. Let
Yeah,
me go into the gym, lift some weights a little bit. Let me do a little basketball. I'm good. I'm good. It's all
that's
good.
all it is. I mean, because it's like I think the way players rationalize it in their head is like I'm getting paid to play basketball. I'm not getting paid to lift weights. I'm not getting paid to run stairs. I'm not getting paid to do yoga or walk the treadmill. It's like I'm getting paid to play basketball. So as long as that part is consistent and I feel like I'm getting the most out of that, I think everything else is secondary. I think
But they're
that's kind
not
of how
getting the
players
most
look at
out
it.
of it. See, that they're not getting the most out of it
I think
because
that's how they rationalize it, though,
okay,
Frank.
well, listen, that's fine because
Hmm.
I've had guys come in with other guys and they get hit with reality here, okay, and then they go, well, I'm gonna go back to train with my guy in Miami because he does this, and the guys go, no, we've been in Miami and they didn't do this, and it's like, hey, let them go. It's all good. Everyone has to do their own thing, and I don't bust anybody. I say it was a pleasure. Good luck and God bless whatever you're doing, because see here, guys are going to make money in the league in any league and not come here. Do you get
Hmm.
me? Because again, it's just a different. Listen, listen, folks. This guy was my hardest workers ever. Okay, I'm not just saying that because we're in here. Is working, and Anthony knows the difference between this and other stuff. But the rationale is just that way. I'm getting paid, and there are guys, like I said, guys in the league make a wonderful living without being here. They don't need to go through this. They go and do whatever they're doing, and whatever they're doing, their rationalization is this is the hardest thing I've ever done. This is the hardest thing out there,
Hmm.
and that's why I tell guys go all over the place. Then when you're done, come here. Don't come here first. Come here last. And when they get here, they're like, "What the?" And I go, "Okay." Now that's when they say, "Well, I was doing the other stuff, and I still getting paid. I don't need to go through this."
Right.
So you have that, and then you find guys towards the end of their career. That's when my phone will go, "Hey Frank, what's up, man? Like I'm the last atoll before you atoll, whatever you call it, before you get into the Pacific Ocean. I'm that last piece of rock and branch and bushes you're gonna before you go over Niagara Falls at the end of your career. So you're looking to get a couple more years in, which I understand. But in between the beginning and the end, they're the guys that come here that you say, "Wow, I give them credit because it's year and year." not okay. I'm just gonna go wherever I'm at, do my thing, and I'm getting paid, and my stats may go down, but I'm still getting paid.
You know,
And
so
when and
but
one thing, wait, one thing, because this is one of the things I want to say. You were talking about, uh, the effort, right?
hmm
And you're saying, well, I'm paid to play basketball,
right.
but part of your job is to take care of your health and take care of yourself. Now, I'm not touting myself. It's just if you can't, you have to be healthy, do all the things you need to do off the court to apply that on the court. Okay.
Okay.
So you just can't hang out and smoke weed or whatever and have a few meals and then go on the court and shit and play every year and expect to be where you were prior. Okay. So
hmm
that is a part of it. Their job is basketball, but part of their job is preparing for that to play basketball at a high level. So you got to, yeah, and that's when guys don't because they got paid and they say, no, I don't need that.
Okay. So in your experience, do you feel like have you seen a difference? Let's say in regards to contract years, in regards to falling off motivation, or even the work ethic when they come to you. Do you see a difference in NFL versus NBA players in regards to their ability to stay locked in, or you think it affects both sides equally? So is it an athlete problem, or is it more so a result of the culture, or
I think it's a money problem. That's what I
think it's a
think it
money
is.
problem?
I think it's a money
Okay.
sure because, and I don't and listen. I don't blame anybody. Like people ask again, how come what's his name isn't here? I go, it's all good. I go, would you want to be back? Think about it, seriously, and that's how I play it. Guys come in, they train virtually, or they train like this when they want to. I don't force anybody to because the main thing here is in order to do it, you have to want it, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And once guys say I'll do whatever it takes, and they come here and they're like, whoa, whoa, wait a minute. So, but these guys, I see it because of the money. The money to
Okay.
me is the driving force. Sure. Because they're going to do something. No guy that I ever known or people that associate with me tell me about
Right.
other guys are just sitting home.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't sign their contract and sit home. They're saying, I'm going to do what it takes to get by on a lot of them.
Right.
I have my monies. Listen. You have to have a special mental focus in certain things, okay? Because it's just human nature. You busted your hump. You busted your hump. You got there. Now I can breathe.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna take it easy. I'm gonna relax. I have security for my family. I have my health. I don't need to go balls out. I'm going to be doing it enough to where I get on the court and perform. But then if you see your performance levels go down, okay, and then I have another get another contract. Well, you're not going to stay in that mode anymore. You're going to hopefully get back to where you were before. But my thing is always maintain that. And you have to worry about the slippage because here's the beauty of training all the time the proper way. Your career is longer, unless it's some kind of again occupational hazard in anything we do. You're in construction, there's occupational hazard. You play football or any other sport, basketball, there's occupational hazards. When you're training, you're on the court, right? You step wrong. That's just part of the game. But if you're doing stuff outside of that and get injured, well, that's doom on you. You shouldn't have been doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have guys that can stay steady and consistently train as hard as they did from year one all the way through, you're adding to your career, in my opinion, to keep that level as high as you can. Because look at in football, football is a violent sport. Basketball takes a grind on you, but football is crazy.
Right.
Okay, and your body's constantly getting pounded, right? So now the teams are looking at you because there's always someone in the wings waiting to take your spot.
Right.
Okay, you get drafted 3 years in. Another guy's drafted. There's 53 guys in that team. 11 are starting on each side, right? Well, all the other guys are looking they're maybe 3 years younger, 4 years younger. They're looking to take that spot, and management is saying, why am I going to pay this guy at 29 when I can pay this guy less money at 22? So
Right.
there's a lot of pressure, and that's where the maintaining that physical and mental discipline and level that should be really high is on a player as he gets older, and that's why I say why are you stopping? You should continue because the minute you lose that step, Jerry Glanville, coaching the league a long time ago, famous line, he goes to the referee, he goes, you know what, that call sucked, and the NFL stands for not for long because I won't be here tomorrow. With more calls like that, and that's what the NFL is, not for long. You're in, you're out. So you should maintain that fitness level, that mental discipline all the way through because someone's always trying to take your job. But guys
Okay.
get paid big money and they slack off.
Okay, so obviously the correct solution is to maintain shape, to maintain that level of activity throughout your
In
career.
my
But
opinion,
truth,
mentally and
yeah,
physically.
right. But truth of the matter is, people don't. So we talked about the problems. So like, what's the solution to get people into that mindset? Like, you know, maybe I shouldn't be relaxing. Maybe I shouldn't take this time off. What is the solution there? How do you get a player to come to that realization and change his perspective, though?
I don't.
Especially once they're making all of that money,
I don't.
because it,
I don't. There's a simple
yeah,
answer. I don't. Here, I've been paid to do motivational speaking. And one of the things I tell people is you either have it or you don't. Okay. I can't come in there and talk some words to you in an hour or so, and because I'm not that rah rah guy, you know.
I
I
get you.
speak in I speak this I speak in facts and my opinion. Okay, and I always tell people, you ask me my opinion, I'm going to give it to you. You don't like it, and my father would say, that's another Christmas card you won't be getting. Who cares? So I'm going to be very truthful with people. When I speak in fact, it's fact. If I'm speaking my opinion, that's just me. I don't mean shit. But when you have guys that'll say, Frank, what should I do? Or as you're asking me, I'm not saying anything. You have to want it. And listen, in anything, if I want something and you come to me and let's say, okay, we're gonna say football or basketball player, right? And you're telling me all this crap. I'm the hardest worker, I want this, I want that, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Well, this is what you need to do for that. And then you don't. Well, you don't want it because I'm giving you the key to the treasure chest, but it's not money. It's
Hmm.
both mental and physical discipline to get you that money, right? If you don't believe in your abilities and you don't want it, not going to work. I've had guys, okay, they'd come in and their parents, their agents, their friends, this is where you need to be. And I'd say, leave them alone. Leave them alone. I don't want them here because if they don't want to truly be here, this is not going to work and they shouldn't be here. So that's my take on all of it. If someone truly wants something, they'll do it. You can't have everybody else telling them, come on, do this, do that. It's not going to happen. All right. So I don't say anything. I say, this is what I have. This is what we're going to do. This is what you tell me you want. Now I'm going to tell you what needs to be done to accomplish that. And it's extremely hard. And if they want it, great. I'll get it for them. If they don't, there's a million places to go, and there's a million people. Listen, there's a lot of people that are going to bullshit players.
Yeah.
That's the person you need to talk to with that question, because oh, I have the answer. What answers? You have an answer for what? Each individual is different. I can have 10 players. I can't tell all 10 players. You're a coach now. Listen, you're a coach. You know this better than anything. When I was at Memphis, okay, when I first got there, I said, why do I even want to come here? Because out of 15 of you knuckleheads, maybe two could do my stuff. Maybe.
Right.
And I said, I love helping guys, right? But I had to handle each guy differently. I had to answer each guy differently mentally and physically to get the best out of them. So you can't just broad stroke it and
Right,
say,
right,
this is the answer to why this needs to be fixed. No, it doesn't. You don't want to do it? God bless. You want to do something, you fix it yourself. So each individual is different. So unless you're going to have a million answers, if someone says, I have the answer, I call bullshit on it.
yeah.
That's
I
just
mean,
that's
I
just someone ready to take your money. Here,
right.
I got the answer to you. Yeah, yeah, sure. Come on in. Get out of here.
Yeah, I think that's one of the toughest things I think as coaches and life changers of the world.
Life
I think
changer. There's
life changer. You're
trainers
the
and then
only
there's
one.
life
You're the only
changer.
life changer. You're not a
That's what I've been
trainer, a life
told.
changer.
I've been
Okay.
told. And you know
Okay.
why?
Well,
I'll just say this real quick. We don't want to get in depth with this bullshit, but it's simple. I didn't. They gave me Hell's Trainer, that moniker. I didn't ask for it. I wanted Heaven's life changer. But people told me, they said, look, this is why I'm telling you, it goes beyond the physical and the mental of your sport. I want to be bigger, so blah, blah, blah. It's about life. It's about 20 years down the road, me getting stuff. Man, what you taught me changed my life. That's how they gave that to me, not me. And I'm proud of that. That's the thing I'm proud of, not their career, what they did after their career. So yeah, people can bust on it if they want, but that's the reality of it because the other stuff is so limited. In sports, 53-man roster, you have an NFL trainer. What happens if that guy gets traded? They don't give a shit about him no more. He's not in
right.
their roster. Mine, that's me is for their life. So yeah, that's real quick.
Yeah, nah, but I was going back to like when you say like kids gotta want it. I think a lot of times I think it's easier to reach players when you can quantify things, right? Especially athletes. Athletes, it's usually a
True,
numbers game. It's a numbers sport.
true.
So, case in point, I had a player. He's just like, "Oh, I work hard." I was like, "Oh, dope." I'm like, "How many shots you shoot yesterday?" He's like, "Oh, I shot 200 shots." I'm like, "Cool." I'm like, "Well, what's your goal?" He's like, "Oh, I want to go to the NBA." I was like, "Okay, if you had a workout with the Lakers on Monday, how many shots would you have shot yesterday?" "Oh, I would have shot 1,000." And I'm like, "Okay, so why didn't you shoot 1,000 yesterday? Why don't you shoot 1,000 tomorrow and every day after that? If that's your goal." And I can guarantee, I don't know for a fact, but I can probably, I put my life savings up that he hasn't shot 1,000 a day since that conversation. But I think a lot of times when you quantify things, it kind of puts it into better perspective, for them in regards to how bad they want something. And it's okay not to want something as bad as you thought you did, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
I think a lot of times, if you quantify it, then they can kind of understand. But even transitioning to, let's just talk about like the college game, because now college players, they're at contract years every year. This with the NIL and the way money is
yeah.
flowing, every single year they have an opportunity to improve their market value, go out and get exponentially more than they earned a year before. Um, do you think now with NIL, infiltrating the college space and a lot of the pro habits kind of trickling down to the college level, do you think that the contract year curse in regards to getting that big contract and then the performance not meeting expectations, do you think that's going to be a little more widespread at the college level, in your
Absolutely,
opinion?
absolutely. Listen, and I'm glad these kids get paid. They deserve it. They deserve it. But that's again very important for players to constantly get in the habit, okay, of training hard because every year is a contract year for them. Every year. And you have to be in a position where like I heard this one kid was at a smaller school and the next year like tenfold the money he got from the other school.
Hmm.
And you go maybe from that school to a different school, right? So you can be at four different schools in 4 years. The money you make at the first school changes and goes up. If you don't work hard, it's going to go down. And the team that you have already is going to look for somebody else to fill in your spot. So
Hmm.
they have to, in my opinion, they have to work hard. It's again the NBA. You're getting a 3 year deal. Well, if a kid in college got a 3 year deal and said, "I'm going to stay at this one school for 3 years," and you pay me that money over those 3 years, he's not going to work out as hard because
Yeah.
he's done. He's done then. Then he has to train hard for the NBA, but he's not training hard for the NBA. These kids don't look that far down the road. He's
Yeah,
not
yeah, exactly.
just like you told me. No guy is looking at me and saying, "Oh, I'm going to train with Frank, so now in 20 years I can be healthy." Right?
Yeah,
I'm doing that. I'm preparing them for that. They're still getting their stuff, but I'm preparing that. That's that a bonus on my side. But these kids, if they go, holy cow, you're not thinking about the NBA, training for the NBA. If you sign with a team as a freshman and you guaranteed to stay there for 3 or 4 years, you worry about that when it's training for the quote unquote draft.
yep.
When they spend 6 weeks, I tell guys, you're training for the draft now. Oh, I'm going to come in with training for 8 weeks. You should be doing this for 4 years.
Yeah, I think the parallels though between like let's just say like the NBA signing that big contract, whether it's your second or third contract, and then college is like I think in both cases you have guys seeing money that they've never seen before. So
Absolutely.
for a lot of people, it can register in your mind like, yo, this is life changing money. Like I'm set for life. Like though a college kid making 500,000, 700,000, that's not life. That's not retirement money. But to
No, but
them,
for them at
it
that
kind of
moment it
is.
is. Yeah,
It
for them at that
is.
moment
It
it is.
is. Like in college, like I was lucky to have $100 in my account. Like that was, you give me 500,000. Like that's life changing money. I think that that's gonna last me for the next 22 years or however many years old I
Yeah,
was. You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I think anytime you have that level of comfort, that level of security, like I got money now, you are going to relax. You are going to take a breath
Right,
because
but
you're
they
not
shouldn't.
hungry.
That's my
Huh?
point. They
No, of course
shouldn't
they shouldn't. Of course they shouldn't.
because year to year, it's a new contract, and that's why they should. I told you before they should work hard. But
Oh, for sure.
if you're gonna get a guarantee on something, no. But
Yeah.
listen, even with this now, where they get 1 year, kids don't get it. Kids don't get it. And I have kids I know in college. I train. I'm training kids in high school. I'm training kids in high school to prepare them to compete for NIL money as a freshman in college.
Hmm.
Because as you know, and you're a coach now, coaches are getting guys that are fifth year seniors, have 7 kids, they're 29, they're in their fifth, sixth year, they allow them to stay. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Against a kid who's going to be 18. You have guys 3 years seniors. These kids cannot compete at 18 against a 25-year-old, right?
Right.
24 year, whatever it is. So that's what I'm doing now is preparing them so they can in high school come in as a freshman and compete against those older players and get the NIL money. But you have it where it should be always focused on the next year prior. Am I making sense? You got to look to that
No.
future. But okay, so
The next year prior.
you're a junior in high school. You should be
Yep.
preparing for your freshman year in college. Not
Gotcha.
waiting till that quote unquote. I'm going to be there. Just like the NBA guys, I'm training for the draft again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get what
8 weeks.
you're saying.
So, and this is the problem with the kids now. They don't. And if they get that money for that 1 year, they don't understand what they're doing now is going to be affecting them 3, 4 years down the road.
Yeah.
What you
No,
set as a foundation is important, and people don't do it because that money is giving them that time to relax, which is the opposite of what they should be doing.
for sure. And I think it's I think with the money comes distractions that you never would have had before. Because now you can fly your cousin in, you fly your best friend from high school in. You could go take a trip if you got a day or two off, go back home. You could do so many more things that like prior to NIL and all this, like kids be staying on campus. I also am a firm believer that there are certain mentalities where money is not going to change that. Some guys are just hardwired to be great. They're hardwired to play hard. They're hardwired to just work hard regardless of how much money is on the table.
Yes, that's how it should be with
But
everyone. But
that's how it should be,
you
but it's
can't put
not.
everybody in one ball.
No, of course not. So it's just not the case. But I do think I do think that a lot of these kids are. This is I think a lot of these kids are really going to suffer in regards to their career because they got front loaded with so much money early on. But another thing that I think, and this might be a little off topic, this whole chain culture has to stop. Like all of these college kids got chains now and stuff like
Wait. What?
necklaces.
What? Wait, what?
Chain culture, chain culture.
C H A
A
I
yeah,
N
CHA yeah, chain culture. Like
chain.
eh,
Never heard of it.
okay, well no, I made it up. But what I'm saying is all these kids in college now, they all get a chain. They all got a necklace. They all got a chain, right? With their initials on it, their logo if they have it, whatever it is. I feel like this chain culture has to stop because I
How
see it,
about the entitlement culture has to stop? Starting with now, we're getting a different topic, which
that
we're going to say from AAU. Please, we'll be here for 5 hours.
just yeah,
Don't get me
all
going.
of it entitlement culture has to stop, but the chain culture, man, like as I think of these kids making money and it's like they're blowing it on necklaces where it's like once you get to the league,
Wait a
you're
minute.
no longer going to wear that
Wait.
necklace
That,
anymore.
wait, well, then that chain culture has been around for a long time because guys would come to me and they sign a
Not
contract. I go, guys, I go, listen to me. Listen to me. And if anybody out there is watching this right now, please, I beg you, for the NBA, listen to me. You sign your first contract, okay, even if it's a first round pick, they give you a 5 year deal. Only 2 years are guaranteed. And guys will come to me, I signed for 5 years. I said, no. 2 years. Guarantee that's it. And you know what you want to do? Save your money. Save your
that's
money.
a fact.
I had guys flying, renting planes. I go, what? I want to get a house and I want to get a garage. I want to get like 5 cars and it's going to spin. I go, are you out of your mind? Lease a car. Okay, number
Yeah.
one. Lease a house. Number two. Okay, until you sign your second contract. Don't buy anything and have one. That's it. When you sign your second contract, then you're fine. Because after year two, team may go, well, we fucked up. Congratulations
Hmm.
on your 2 years. Now we're not going to pick up your 30-year contract. Huh? But I already spent that money on the house. I bought a $10 million house with a mortgage. Yeah, well, sorry, kid. Good luck to you. Okay. So that chain culture has been here forever. Forever. And guys don't want to listen.
But it hasn't been at this at such a young I wouldn't say it hasn't
True.
been at the
No,
youth
true,
level like
true,
it is
true,
now,
true,
because it's
true.
like yeah, man, these kids like I see it all the time. There was a college football game last week, a player snatched another player's chain, like
What?
I mean, yeah, right off the field he snatched this kid's chain, and then I saw a photo
Wait a
the other
minute. The
day.
guy
uh,
playing football wore a chain and the guy ripped it off his neck?
University of Georgia, the kid from University of Georgia or some other team grabbed some other kid's chain, snatched it, and threw it in the stands. And then a couple of days ago, this guy from Texas's bench football, he had 5 chains on. He had
Oh,
five
God.
chains on. So my thing is, even if okay, Texas, you guys got that kind of money, whatever it is, whatever you're getting paid, you could probably afford it. But
That's not the
once
point.
you get to the NFL, you're probably gonna want a new chain because now you feel like you got to do it bigger, or you're around guys that have bigger chains. So now you feel like you need a bigger chain, and it's just a never-ending cycle, and it's a waste of money at the end. It's a depreciating asset. That's what we call it at Arkansas
Okay,
State.
well, that's where the mental training comes into place. These, again, life lessons, not sport lessons.
You're a life
Teaching these
changer.
kids responsibility,
Give it
teaching them
to
when
us.
they
Give
get
it to
money
us.
to handle it. And that's what I'm doing with kids that are in high school. They're looking at me like, huh? I go, trust me. Trust me. Oh,
Yeah, nah,
Lord. Oh, Lord, Anthony. I just learned
nah,
something new again. I'm blessed. I
yeah.
learned a new thing today.
Yeah, so when your college and your high school kids are pulling up, take a few minutes, to just
I
look.
will. I'll say, get that shit off
Yeah,
and put it away. Put it in the safety deposit box.
yeah, as
Oh,
they're
my.
running up the sand hills and the
Oh, they don't do
stairs
that
in
with,
San
no, there's no
Francisco.
chains there. There's no chains. There's
There's
no
no
chains.
chains there. There's no chains
No, no
there.
chains. Why would they want to lose them when they fall down and lie in the sand like they're gonna take a nap for 5 hours? That may come off. It may ruin that chain.
Nah, I get you, man. But nah, on a closing note, man, I really hope that this NIL doesn't impact college players the way that I imagine it will. You know what I mean? I want them all to go on and have
Answer
nice
your
careers
favorite
and
few.
whatnot.
But now, listen. You can talk to people in any walk of life, not just sports, and tell them, and with the best of intentions, heartfelt uh, feelings from you, and they're not going to listen.
Yeah, for sure.
Here's what I learned. When someone says, I got you, they don't have you. I got you, man. I got you. It's all good. I got you. Nah, you don't, because I've seen it too long. I've seen it too many times at the college level at Memphis. Love those guys, but I don't know. Some of them, you know, didn't get the whole message. They let that
Nah,
happen.
I get it.
So
I get it.
you'll
Well,
reach. You
everybody
listen,
back.
as a coach, you're gonna reach a lot of players. Trust me.
Oh, I know. I know I am.
You're the
I know
best,
I
man. You're
am.
the best. You're gonna reach a lot of players.
I know I am. And for everybody back home, you're listening to the Real Work Podcast. This is our first time hopping on this YouTube live stream. And Frank, before we get out of here, man, drop some more life lesson. Give us one more life lesson or a little motivation before we get out of here. Some real work motivation
Just we're
before we
creatures of
clock out.
habit. Remember, you control your emotions. Nobody else does. Be a puppet master, not a puppet. And we can go into detail with that next time. It just takes too long to discuss it now. But puppet master, not a puppet. You control your emotions. Don't let anybody tell you you don't.
Okay, fair enough. I hope you live by that as well, Frank.
I,
Because
I live by that.
I've seen you get worked up. I've seen you get worked up and
No, you've
lose
seen
your
me
control
choose
of
the
your.
emotion through my Rolodex, my mental Rolodex. Anything I do, I control. It's warranted. I'll go, huh? Okay, that's warranted for that moment.
Fair enough.
Always.
Fair enough. But nah, we appreciate everybody that stopped by and pulled up and listened to the podcast. And if you're watching this on tape delay, I hope you enjoyed it as well. We'll be back next week with another topic, man. And so y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe, turn your notifications on, and we'll see y'all next time. And we're out.